You're lonely, she tells me. I don't feel lonely. I like my own company, that's all. Always have. Just don't like people, on the whole. I find them difficult, confusing, rude. They bother me. She says it's anxiety, social anxiety. Says we should go out, and when I ask why, she rolls her eyes and reels off some itinerary I'm supposed to look happy about. When we get back, she looks all excited and asks me what was the best bit of the day. I say, coming home. She likes taking me somewhere nice. I like quiet. My house is nice. I like it here. Nice is not being plonked down in some dreary garden centre cafe and being given a god-awful cup of coffee and a flaxseed tea cake. Last time, apparently, I ordered a latte, though a cup of froth seems too airy to be considered a treat. She has a cappuccino, though I question how they're different. Last time I answered the how many shots question wrong. I had to spend the next half hour pretending to enjoy my decision. She uses the opportunity to broach her pet subject, my inability to live alone, all the while forgetting that I anticipate this all too familiar conversation, so conveniently ignore her. I do, however, have plenty to say about the trailing roses to our left and the seeming comfort of the sun loungers, until she realizes the pointlessness of her questioning and wisely eats her rocky road in silence. I know I sound ungrateful. I suppose I am. I understand her concerns. I'm all aware of my advancing years and my decreasing capabilities in some areas. But do I tell her that? Oh, no fear. One sniff of weakness and she'd have a care plan in place before we reach the begonias. She says I should go out and chat to people. I don't like to chat. Talking, I don't mind. Ask a question, get an answer, done, move on. But all this rabbiting about nothing, chit-chat, why? I don't want to listen to some idiot rabbiting on about a subject that I'm not interested in, and then looking at me all expectantly, as though I was listening. I used to have someone in to clean every few days. She organised it. She swore blind that she wasn't a carer. But at any rate, I didn't mind, so I didn't say anything. You see, I don't hate people, just the stupid ones. She was nice. Tina something. She drove a little Mini, the colour of weak cappuccino. Respectful, but friendly. I like that. Always said hello and actually listened to the answer when she asked how I was. Tina would help around the house, cleaning. She'd find jobs to do and never interfered with anything. I find it hard to part with stuff. I don't really throw anything away. But Tina would work round it and make everything nice. Sometimes she would have a tea afterwards if she hadn't got another client for a while. Said I was doing her a favour by saving her hanging around. She has a daughter too, in Adelaide, but they just speak on the computer. I think she left because of the agency. Something to do with them not being very good. She can't be earning much. I don't blame her. My daughter tried to get someone else, but we could never agree on the right person. She likes those cheery ones who make jokes and help themselves to your kettle without asking. So, here we are. I've got all these jobs to do. I'm running out of time to get them done. When I retired, we thought we'd have so much time to do everything, my wife and I, but it didn't work out quite like that. She says I should get someone in to do that, but that costs money, and I didn't work all those years to be ripped off by some con artist. The jobs I can do anyway. I built this house pretty much. She says she's worried that I'll have an accident. Last week she caught me up a ladder. I said I was changing a light bulb. So she asked why there were all these dust sheets everywhere and tins of paint. All went a bit frosty after that. I refused to promise I wouldn't do it again, and when I told her that I thought I was old enough to decide for myself whether or not to paint my living room in sea thistle, she went off in a proper huff. She even said she thought the colour looked like sludge, which I thought was a low blow. I left it a while before I rang her. I said I would be more careful. She said some nice things about caring about me and that she was just worried. So it didn't seem the right moment to tell her that the doctor thought it was just a nasty bruise when I fell the week before last. Maybe what I need is a companion like you. Hey, boy. I've never really liked dogs. But whenever she brings you round, I quite like the idea. Not one of those yappy, jumpy up ones with muddy paws. Did you go telling her what I told you? She'll probably be back soon. I said I didn't need anything much, but she said there was nothing in worth eating. So, God alone knows what she's buying. I could get some jobs done inside while this cloud's hanging about. Probably better not risk it. I don't know what I'm doing it all for, really. The moment I've gone, some developer will buy this place and flatten it. It's a shame, really. It was lovely. I've got some photos somewhere. She scanned them into the computer for me, but don't ask me how I'll find them again. Last time she came, she bought me a new phone. I'd done something to the other one. Dropped it or got it wet. I don't know. She pulled a face and asked me if I'd put it in the rice. Rice, as if anyone puts anything in rice. Oh, I said it was a ridiculous idea, and why would I waste rice by burying something in it? That's part of the reason she's here. She was worried that I hadn't called her. But I told her that in spite of what she said, I was not ignoring her. I just hadn't heard it ringing because I'd switched it off. Now she's here for a few days. I'm all right won't really work when she's standing in front of me, asking me why I've got a graze on my face. It's what happens. Age, we all know it. I know it, she knows it. If we knew when it was going to happen, we could have it worked out, paid for, and let it wash over us with far less fuss. I've been thinking about my death, how I want to die. I thought I'd give it a mull over while there was nothing on the box. Nothing sinister, mind you. I'm not going to have a hand in it. What would be helpful would be some blaze of glory affair, a tragic accident. Painless and without mess, of course. Preferably at the point at which my faculties are beyond saving. I'd be doing the vicar a favour. Our local one's a dull sod. So the details of my death being shared at the funeral would liven things up, I would imagine. Doubt there'd be many at the congregation. I don't call many friends, and suffering fools has never been something I indulge in. So I could count on one hand those who'd bother turning up. Funerals seem pointless, really. I mean, people always say the same things about what a good person they were. I rather like the idea of everyone being honest about me. He was a grumpy sod who didn't like people, and we don't mourn his loss. It'd be over and done with. And as for the wake, let the poor sods go home and save the expense. You get anything nice?